Today I have a cool multi-tool to showcase, and this is the Victorinox Companion X ALOX Pocket Tool. This goes for $32 on Amazon. It was recently released, and it has one tool, just one, and I plan to compare that against Decoyu's. This is what they're calling their Mantis compact scissors. These go for $5. This went or does go right now for $32 online. And then I have a special antique pair of scissors that I just recently got off eBay. These are mother of pearl handles, and I got this for $18, but people are trying to sell this for $429. So these are 19th century scissors. We'll see how they compare against Victorinox, and how does a $5 Decoyu scissor compare against these. Now, why are we doing this? Well, because I think some of you prefer to carry scissors on the side, just like some people prefer to carry a pocket knife on the side. This might be something that would be a good companion to your multi-tool if you don't like the scissors, or you just want something more capable, or the multi-tool potentially does not have scissors like with the Leatherman Skeletal. All right, now I have to first say that the Victorinox ALOX, I love this design. It feels really good. It looks high quality. The scissors function really nice. I do know from experience that once these springs fall apart, they are a pain to put back in, and it seems like they never go back in right. But apart from that, right now, these work really nice, and it feels like a very high quality tool. So today I have something a little bit different. I'm going to call this, I guess, Mr. PVC Man, and we will start out on this side with these thin strands of almost thread. This is like very fine twine, that it's like chalk twine. And so I thought that would be a good test because it's always falling apart. And then over here, some of you have said, why not cut like a plastic bag? So for the fine aspect, and right here, yeah, it slices right through that plastic bag, no issue. Now I've got some paracord. This is pretty much what a lot of people test these scissors against a lot of times. Wow, these slice right through paracord. I am very impressed with these scissors. Now, I think when I cut, it squeezes the paracord to the end, and so it didn't get complete cut that one time because it actually ended up rolling off the scissors. But yeah, it does really well. Now, someone else mentioned something like rubber, and so I've got this bike inner tube. And this is actually 2 layers, and it does cut right through the bike inner tube. Now, the only thing we've got left is these heavier cords. I don't know if it makes sense, but I guess, yeah, it cuts right through this. This is a tow rope. I don't know if it's like a 200-pound tow rope, something like that. But yeah, it cuts right through. And then the last thing we have to check is actually this seat belt. On the other side, can it cut through seat belt? It actually can. It slices right through seat belt. These are excellent scissors. Very impressed. With the Dakoyu Mantis, I would not expect these to work as well as the $30 set of scissors from Victorinox. And I know that they do struggle with paracord because I have already tested them out, but I'm just curious how well they do. So let's go ahead. And first of all, I want to mention these have a huge cutting surface, very, very long cutting surface. So here is the $5 scissors from Decoyu. Now they do really good with this fine, almost like thread, but it is twine actually. Then let's go ahead and switch to the baggie right here. You know, they slice right through the baggie, no issue. Let's do this inner tube on the side. They do really nice through the inner tube. I think they cut a little bit better than the Victorinox in the sense that they have super long cutting angle, or super long shears, these scissor blades, and so it was able to cut right through. Now, paracord is where I've tried these before and they have struggled, but actually these, wow. Okay, I'm not sure. These actually do really good. I must not have been using these right the other time because these do an excellent job. Wow. Very, very impressed. I'm very happy that I was wrong. I thought I remembered that I had a pair that really struggled, but these don't. And then, now they are struggling a little bit here. So let's see if I can get through. And I don't think this is 200 pound. I think this is more like 800, 1,000 pound tow rope right here. All right. I think I can get through. All right, so I'm not sure if I should really cut too much more. I think it will make it through. Okay, it did pretty much make it through right there. Let's go ahead to the seat belt. Not sure how it's going to do with the seat belt. I'll go a little bit up here. Actually, it cuts through the seat belt better than the tow rope. Very, very good. These are amazing. $5 scissors. Wow. Now, I do want to just test up here at the end. Okay, so that's, I think, where the problem was. You have to find the right spot to do the paracord. It's more at the bottom. At the top, it doesn't really cut paracord. Something to consider. All right, so for this last test, I will use these mother of pearl scissors. I did want to mention that this Decoyu, I really like it has the pocket clip on it. The Victorinox does not, but this has the pocket clip. But I do want to mention that you can tell these are cheaper scissors. They're a little bit misaligned here, the handle is, but they're an excellent value. I mean, for $5, you can't expect too much. This is an amazing value. I highly recommend these. Yeah, really great. Okay, now let's try these scissors that, remember, I got for $18 off of eBay. They have a little spring and then a notch right there. And then these are actually spring scissors. These are sewing scissors. It says patent, and then I don't know that it has any name, so I don't know who made these. I have no clue how these will go because I've never used these. All right, so actually with these, that's interesting. It works a lot better at the tip on these. You can get a very fine cut on the tip. All right, so moving on to the bag, we'll go ahead and cut through the bag. And as long as you use that tip, it does an excellent job. Slices right through the bag. Takes a little time, but it gets there. And then let's try the inner tube. I'm going to try on the other side. Yeah, it's struggling a little bit. These are definitely, scissor technology has changed over the years. These are sewing scissors meant for precise things. I just was curious if something like this would be good for EDC even all these years later, but no. Unfortunately, these $18 or $400, depending on what antique dealer is trying to sell this to you, this is basically good for threads, but it's a very fascinating tool. And one of the interesting things is they made a tool that actually had tools on the handle like a knife and so forth. And that was probably the predecessor for the Leatherman Micra, one of the first scissor multi-tools of its time. Years and years ago, probably 100 years ago, someone was making these. So even though it's a very cool tool, very lightweight, and maybe we'll weigh these and just show you how lightweight this tool actually is. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh this. And this antique scissor actually comes in at 0.9 ounces, or when we move over to grams, only 25 grams. Pretty outstanding. Now, Dakoyu's Mantis comes in at 41 grams, or moving it over to ounces, 1.5 ounces. Still very, very lightweight. Then Victorinox comes in about the same size, 1.5 ounces. Very impressive, 43 grams. That is amazing. So this, for $32, as expensive as it is, when I first heard that Victorinox was releasing this has been out a couple months now, I believe, I was very skeptical. I thought $32, but I can definitely see these scissors are very strong, very sharp. I really like this. And I could definitely see someone carrying this and using this in conjunction with the Knipex Cobra XS and a couple other tools. A very cool tool if you don't want a lot of extra tools that you will not use. And then I have to say that the Decoyu Mantis really has a ton of value for that $5. I love that little pocket clip. They have many different colors, so make sure to check out their website, and I'll be leaving a link to their website. You can buy these on AliExpress as well, but I'll leave that up to you to find the links for AliExpress. You can type in Decoyu and you should be able to find this. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I do think this tool is extremely cool, so this will go with my other antique multi-tools, and maybe it will appear in the future, but that's pretty amazing, those mother of pearl handles. And I really like the engineering on this on such a micro level, all the attention to detail. Even though it doesn't cut the best, it cuts for what it was designed for, thread and for sewing. And so I can't really fault it, and I really like this design. Very neat. Let me know what you guys think, and are there other scissors for EDC, very small, very pocketable scissors that you would recommend more than these that you like better? Make sure to let me know below.